All right, let's picture this like a cosmic heavyweight match. In one corner, weighing in with, somewhere around 400 billion stars, we have our home galaxy, the Milky Way. And in the other corner, its absolutely colossal neighbor and rival, the Andromeda Galaxy. Today, we're going to dive deep into these two cosmic titans, what they're like now, and what their incredible shared future holds.
Okay, so before we jump into the whole, cosmic collision course thing, and trust me, we will get there, let's get properly introduced to our two main players. It only seems fair, right? First up, let's take a closer look at our very own galactic home.
So, to really get a feel for our place in the universe, you gotta know who your neighbors are, right? So let's start with a really basic question. Who is our closest major galactic neighbor? I mean, besides all the smaller dwarf galaxies hanging around, who's the other big player on the block?
And we're gonna start right here at home, the Milky Way. If you've ever been lucky enough to be out under a really, really dark night sky, you've probably seen it. That stunning, milky, hazy band of light stretching from one horizon to the other. Well, that's not just some random cloud of stars, that is our galaxy. We're looking at it from the inside out, kind of like looking at the edge of a frisbee while you're standing on it.
And the scale here, wow, it's just staggering. We're talking about a galaxy that contains anywhere from 100 to 400 billion stars. It's about 100,000 light years across. And where are we in all this? Well, our little solar system is kind of tucked away in one of the spiral arms, about 27,000 light years from the super bright, chaotic center of it all.
Okay, so that's us. Now let's turn our attention to our neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. You might also hear it called M31, which is just its catalog number. Now, this is the closest major galaxy to us, and it's another absolutely beautiful spiral. Honestly, you can think of it as the Milky Way's bigger, older sibling.
2.5 million light years. That's the distance we're talking about here. Just let that sink in for a second. To put that into perspective, the light that you see from Andromeda tonight, it actually left that galaxy 2.5 million years ago, back when early human ancestors were just starting to walk the Earth. It's an absolutely mind-bending distance, but believe it or not, in the vastness of the cosmos, that makes it practically our next-door neighbor.
All right, so when you have a neighbor that big, it kind of makes you wonder, right? How do we stack up? So let's do it. Let's put these two giants side by side for a little tail of the tape and see who really comes out on top.
So when you lay out the stats, a pretty clear picture starts to form. Look at the diameter. Andromeda is more than double the width of the Milky Way. When you look at the stars, it's got about 1 trillion of them. 1 trillion. That's way more than our 100 to 400 billion. And in terms of pure mass, Andromeda is the heavyweight champ there too. Don't get me wrong, our galaxy is massive, but Andromeda, it's a whole other level. A true cosmic behemoth.
Yeah, this chart really puts that size difference into perspective, doesn't it? Our Milky Way is a respectable 100,000 light years across. But then you see Andromeda next to it at a whopping 220,000. It just completely dwarfs us. It's not even close. It really shows you just how much bigger our galactic neighbor actually is.
1 trillion stars. I want to say that number again because it's so hard to wrap your head around. 1 trillion. That means for every star you can imagine in our own galaxy, Andromeda has maybe 2, 3, or even more. It's a number that's so ridiculously huge, it almost loses its meaning. It makes our own massive galaxy seem almost quaint in comparison.
But here's where the story gets really interesting. This isn't just about two galaxies hanging out in the same cosmic neighborhood. Oh no, this story has a much more dramatic ending. Because these two galactic giants aren't drifting apart. They're actually headed straight for each other on an inevitable, spectacular collision course.
So, that's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? Are we really on a collision course with this monster galaxy next door? Is this something we should be worried about? Are we headed for some kind of epic cosmic smash-up?
The answer is a resounding yes. There's no doubt about it. Gravity, that relentless force, is pulling these two galaxies together, and they are screaming towards each other at about 110 kilometers per second. To give you an idea of how fast that is, you could get from New York to LA in like 36 seconds. This merger is happening, and there's absolutely nothing that can stop it. Okay, before you start to panic, let's be clear, this is the collision happening in the absolute slowest of slow motions.
The first contact isn't expected for about 4 billion years from now. So, we've got time. And over many more billions of years after that, the two galaxies will do this incredible gravitational dance, tearing each other apart and reforming until they finally settle down into one single gigantic galaxy. And astronomers have already given it a cool nickname, Milkomeda.
Now, it's really important to understand that a galactic collision isn't like a car crash. Not at all. It's a bit of a misnomer. The space between stars is just so unbelievably vast that it's extremely unlikely any two stars will actually collide. Instead, think of it more like two clouds of smoke passing through each other. The galaxies will merge, with gravity doing all the work of pulling everything apart and rearranging it into something completely new and different.
So this future stuff is amazing to think about. But what about right now, tonight? Let's bring this whole epic story right back down to Earth, because you can actually go outside and see the very beginning of this cosmic dance for yourself.
And this is the really cool part. You can see both of them. Now, for the Milky Way, to get that breathtaking view, you really do need to get away from city lights, find a truly dark sky in the summer or autumn. But here's the amazing thing about Andromeda. On a clear night, even with a little bit of light pollution, you can spot it with just your eyes. It'll look like a tiny, faint, fuzzy patch in the sky. But when you see that smudge, just remember what you're looking at. 1 trillion stars, 2.5 million light years away, headed right for us.
All right, so let's do a super quick recap. The Milky Way? That's us, our home, about 100,000 light years wide. Andromeda? Our much bigger, beefier neighbor, clocking in at 220,000 light years wide. And the big finale? In about 4 billion years, they're going to merge to form the mega galaxy, Milkomeda. Pretty straightforward, right?
And that just leaves us with one last mind-blowing thought to ponder. In 4 billion years, when this whole thing kicks off, what will the night sky look like from Earth? Can you just imagine looking up and seeing the sky filled with the light of not one, but 2 galaxies swirling together and merging right above your head? What a show that would be. A truly spectacular vision of our ultimate cosmic destiny.